Hello children, this video is for those who could not attend the June class conducted on 5th and 11th of July. Okay, so in that classes we have completed a concept called continued proportion, and with this we have concluded our chapter ratio and proportion. Okay, so I'll be teaching you what is continued proportion and how to solve questions based on this concept. Okay. So with this, we will complete our chapter ratio and proportion. From Monday, we will be starting a new chapter, that is unitary method and variation. Okay, so let us start what is the continued proportion. So we all know that proportion is nothing but two equal ratios, right? So if you have two equal ratios, then we say those terms are in proportion. Okay. Now we have something called continued proportion. So we have a word called continued. Okay. So what should be in continuation? So let us take one example and we will have a look at it. Suppose I have 1 by 3 and 3 by 9. Okay. So if you look at this, are these ratios equal? Okay. So if you look at it, this is 1 by 3 and this ratio's value is also 1 by 3. Okay. So both the ratios are equal. So that is why these terms are in proportion. But if you see here, this term, this 3 and 3 is repeating, right? The second and the third term is repeated. That is, it is in continuation. So in that case, I say the terms 1, 3 and 9 are in proportion. Sorry, they are in continued proportion. Okay, so there is a continuity, that is why the three terms are in continued proportion. Okay, so continued proportion is again a proportion, but wherein the second and the third terms are same. Okay, so write down, if two ratios are that A is to B is equal to B is to C. So this is one ratio, this is another ratio. If they are equal, okay, then the terms A, B, C are set to be in continued proportion. Okay. So these three terms are said to be in continued proportion. Okay. So you see here, the term C comes in third place. So it has some name. Okay. So the term C is called, it has a name which is third proportional to A comma B. So this term C has a particular name. So its name is third proportional to A comma B. Okay, so this is one thing. Now I'm saying that A, B, C are in continued proportion. Okay, that means these two ratios are equal. So these two ratios are equal. Okay, then if we use the cross product rule, what happens? Just multiply these two. So this gives us A into C is equal to B into B. Okay, so this A into C is equal to B into E. B is what? B square. So here we will be using our knowledge of square and square roots. Okay, so from here what do we get? B will be equals to square root of A into C. Okay, so this term B has a certain name. So the term B is called mean proportional to A and B. Okay, so this B has a certain name. so it is mean proportional to A and B. Children, this theory part is very important when you solve questions, okay? So this is all about continued proportion. So let us take few examples. So exercise 1B, page number AP 15. Okay, so I'll take question number 5. I'll do part 3 for you. Part 1 and 2 you do on your own. Okay, so question number 5 says, are the following quantities in continued proportion? Okay, so we need to find out whether the given quantities is in continued proportion or not. Okay, so we all know what is the continued proportion. Two ratios should be equal. Okay, so we have the terms, that is 4 gram, 0.6 gram and 0.09 gram. So we need to check whether these three terms are in continued proportion or not. So we'll first check the ratio between first and second term and the ratio between third and fourth term. Remember, in continued proportion, this term, the second term and the third terms are same. Okay, so this term will be playing a role of both second and third term. Okay, so let me first find out the ratio between first term and second term. Okay, so this is first, this is second term. This gram and gram gets cancelled, so that will be equals to 4 by 0.6, right? So we remove this decimal, multiply the numerator by 10. So this is equals to 40 by 6. Okay, so let us divide this by 2. 2 3s are 6, 2 2s are 4, 0. So that is equals to 20 by 3. So this is the ratio between first and second term. Now let us find the ratio between second and third term. That is 0.6 gram divided by 0.09 gram. Okay, so this and this gets cancelled. So this will be equal to 0.6 by 0.09. Okay, so let us remove this decimal. We multiply the numerator by 100. Remove this decimal, multiply the denominator by 10. Okay, so 6 into 100, that is 600. 9 into 10, that is 90. Okay, so this 0 and 0 gets cancelled. So let us divide this by 3, that is 3 3s are 9, 3 2s are 6, 0. So that is equals to 20 by 3. So you see the ratio between first and second term is 20 by 3 and the ratio between third and fourth term is 20 by 3. So these two ratios are equal. So our terms, these three terms are in continued proportion. Okay, so your answer is true. Okay, you need to check, are the following quantities in continued proportion? So this is yes. Okay, so let me move on to question number 6. In question number 6, you need to find out the third proportional to the given terms. Okay, you have two terms given, you need to find the third proportional. Okay, so I'll take one question. So that is between 2 and 8. Okay, so this is question number 6. Find the third proportional to each of the following set of numbers. You need to find the third proportional. So let us assume, let the third proportional be x. Okay, we assume it to be x. Okay, now terms are 2, 8 and x, right? Because we assumed our third proportional to be x. Okay, the term C is termed as third proportional. Okay, so I write it here. Now we use the cross product rule, which says product of extreme is equals to product of mean. Okay, so if you see here, because it is continued proportion, this term will play a role of both second and the third term, meaning this term is actually, these are the terms. Okay? So now we use the cross product rule here. So 2 into x, that is product of extreme, is equal to product of means. These two are the means, that is 8 into 8. So 2 into x is how much? 2x, that is equals to 8 is 64. So x will be equals to 64 by 2. Let us divide. 2 1 is 2, 2 3 is 6, 2 2 is 4. So our value is x equals to 32. So you can conclude your answer by saying the third proportional to 2 and 8 is 32. Okay, is that clear? Let me take one more example. Let me take question number 4. You need to find the third proportional between 3 by 7 and 7 by 3. Okay, so we'll start by assuming let the third proportional be x. Okay, here terms are, what are the terms? The two terms that is given here, that is 3 by 7, 7 by 3, and the third proportional that we assumed, that is x. Okay. Now we use the cross product rule, which says product of extreme equals to product of means. So these two are the extremes. So that is 3 by 7 into x is equal to product of means. So the mean here is 7 by 3. So 7 by 3 into 7 by 3. Do not make a mistake of just writing 7 by 3 here. No, actually the terms here are 3 by 7, 7 by 3, 7 by 3 and x. Actual terms are this. Because it is continued proportion, that's why we are writing only once here. Okay, remember that. So this is 3 by 7 into x equals to, let us multiply this. 7 into 7 is 49. 3 into 3, that is 9. Okay, so from here let us find the value of x. So x will be equals to 49 by 7. This 3 becomes the denominator in right hand side. This 7 becomes the numerator. That is equals to 343 by 21. So you can conclude your answer by writing the third proportional to given terms is 343 by 21. Is that clear? So this is how you find the third proportional. Now in question number 7, you need to find the mean proportional. Okay, that is the term b. You need to find the term b. Okay, so here we have a concept of square and square root. Okay, you need to apply that concept to find the mean proportional. So before finding mean proportional, let us see how to find the square root of a number. Okay, so suppose you need to find, this is a square root symbol. I hope you all are familiar with it. So this means you need to find square root of 16. Okay, so let us do by prime factorization method. So let us find the prime factors of 16. So this is 2 8s are 16, 2 4s are 8, 2 2s are 4, 2 1s are 2. Okay, so because this is the square root, we are finding the square root, so we pair these prime factors in 2. Okay, so we make a pair of 2. So out of this 2, I take only 1 2 out. Out of this, I take only 1 2 out. Because we are finding a square root. Square means 2. So 2 into 2, that is 4. Okay, so square root of 16 will be equals to 4. Is that clear? So this is how we find the square root. Now with this, let us find the mean proportional. That is question number 7. So question number 7 in your textbook says Find the mean proportional between the quantities in each pair given below. Okay, so you have a pair of numbers given below. You need to find the mean proportional. Okay, so what was the mean proportional? The term B was called mean proportional and it was given by this formula, right? Square root of A into C. Okay, so we are given A and C. We need to find the value of B, that is the mean proportional. So B equals to root over A into C. Okay, so this is root over what is A, that is 3. What is C, that is 12. Okay, 3 into 12, that is 36. So your mean proportional will be what? Square root of 36. How do you find the square root? You find it by prime factorization method. So let us do the prime factorization. There's 2 1s are 2, 2 8s are 16, 2 9s are 18, 3 3s are 9, 3 1s are 3. So let us pair this. Out of this only 1 2 comes out. Out of this only 1 3 comes out. So 2 into 3, that is 6. So square root of 36 is 6, which is the mean proportional of the given pair of numbers. Is that clear? Let me take one more sum for finding mean proportional itself. So this is question number 4. 3 by 4, 4 by 243. So you need to find the mean proportional between these two terms. Okay. So this is A, this is C. Okay, we need to find B. That is mean proportional. Okay, so B equals to root over A into C. Okay, so what is the value of A? That is 3 by 4 and B is how much? 4 by 243. Okay. So remember, we can carry out all the operations like multiplication, division inside the square root also. Okay. So cancel this. 4 1s are 4, 4 1s are 4. This also gets cancelled. That is 3 1s are 3, 3 8s are 24, 3 1s are 3. So inside square root, what do we have? 1 by 81. So our value of B is equal to square root of 81. Okay. So square root of 1 is what? 1 itself, and you need to find the square root of 81. Okay. So how do you find square root of 81? I'll erase this part. So again by prime factorization method. So the prime factor of 81 is what? 3. That is 3 2s are 6, 3 7s are 21, 3 9s are 27, 3 3s are 9, and this is 3 1s are 3. Okay. So out of this pair only 3 comes out. Out of this pair only 1 3 comes out. So 3 into 3, that is 9. So the square root of 81 is nothing but 9. Okay. So our value of B is equal to 9. So the mean proportional between these two terms is this. Is that clear? So this is all about continued proportion. So with this, our chapter gets completed. Our ratio and proportion is completed. We have learned what is a ratio, how to compare a ratio, what are the types of ratio, how to divide a number in given ratio, and proportion. Okay. So I hope it is clear to you all. Thank you.